Good morning. It is technically it's early morning, Thursday, the 26th of May, 2022, and today we're looking at the Rosenheim Project from it was done by Daniel Masters and Rob Taylor. This is from Tom Quest Books. It's the series. And it says, can you change the course of history? And let's read the back of it real fast. Part book, part game, the Rosenheim Project is the real-life history adventure that puts you in the shoes of a wartime British secret agent deep undercover in the Third Reich. With the risk and danger around every corner, can you avoid the dreaded Gestapo and blend in with life well enough in Nazi Germany to complete a top-secret mission decisive to the outcome of World War II. All key details are based on real people and true events to give you the most realistic and immersive experience possible of life behind enemy lines. But you must decide which way to go, who to trust, and which risks to take to make it out alive and complete your mission. Well, now, so if I'm going to give this a review, I'm going to start off with just the cover art. Cover art's okay, right? You've got obviously Hitler here. You've got a swastika here, but it's obscured by the pistol, automatic pistol there. So I don't mind that. I think that's a pretty good way to present what the Nazis were and what you're dealing with in this book without truly having to go full force with a Nazi symbol that may or may not be banned in other places, right? So I think that's a great measure to take, to obscure that in that way, because you're still saying, hey, you're still knowing up front what's up, but you're also keeping it, I wouldn't say politically correct, but I would say safe in the sense that you're not going to be censored for that. And so that's a good deal. I've done a lot of game books lately, and this one I found in from General Quarters game from Adam C. Mitchell. If you go to his Facebook page, you may see find some a link to some of his reviews. He reviews some books on. I forgot his Facebook reviews, but he reviews some game books and games, and this is one of the game books that he reviewed. And I didn't really read his review. I just seen the book, and I said, "Hey, I want this." It's been around since 2020. I wasn't aware of it. I was blissfully unaware. And as soon as I seen it, I said, "Hey, I kind of want this book," and I'm glad I got it. I played through it twice, and I've done a lot of game books lately, right? Most of them were more game than book. This one here is more book than game, and it's certainly more history than anything else. It's a fun book. It's a fun playthrough. It reminds me of the old Fighting Fantasy books, right? It just seems to be a choose your own adventure book, but it's not. There's a game system behind it in a very, and I mean this in the very nicest way, in the most simplistic and elegant of systems. It's just this easy system to play. And what you're doing, and look at this here. You see all these boxes? Well, I just passed one. We'll find some here. We got boxes here. Plenty of historical notes right here, these boxes. This is going to tell you, give you the note and historical notes, which is very cool to do. And otherwise, you're just flipping through the book as you would any other choose your own adventure. You're obviously you're going to learn that right up front, but your mission is you're going to try to assassinate Adolf Hitler, and certainly that is a great way to make a book. It was 30-something known attempted assassinations of Adolf Hitler. That That was just what's known. Certainly, there were definitely more plots that did not come to fruition. There were certainly more attempts that maybe we don't even know about. Almost certain, at least. And so, they've made plenty of games about it. Back in the day, they had the plot to assassinate Hitler. I think it was Jim Dunnigan designed it for SPI. Then lately, just in the last few years, they've had Black Orchestra, which I've played, I've reviewed here. Enjoyed that game immensely. Immensely. And this here, you're an MI6 agent in 1939, I believe. Well, that's your mission, to go take out Adolf Hitler, who is in the position of the Führer of Germany. So, what is the game system? Well, the game system, you've got three things you're taking care of. Gestapo points. That's, obviously the secret police. How much do Gestapo, every time you get too close or you do something boneheaded, you'll get a Gestapo point. And if you get 5 Gestapo points, you will be captured. You'll turn to Section 100, and where's Section 100? We're not going to read many sections, but we might look at this one just because. Section 100, right here. Be it poor choices or bad luck, you just haven't been inconspicuous enough. The extra Gestapo agents alerted by your presence are waiting here to intercept you and march you into a waiting car. Your mission is over. So that's what's going to happen. The Gestapo will sniff you out if you get to 5 Gestapo points. Sometimes you may do something, the points go down, or the points will go up. If you do something boneheaded, right? Fighting opponents. You're fighting opponents is a very interesting thing because you're not using dice. It's a diceless system, but you are using a coin. There was another. It's not the first book to do coins. What was another game book I played? Oh, it was a big one. It was a fantasy one though, right? And it had a coin flip, but not like this. This one you may say you need to flip a coin 5 times, and 3 heads, you may need 3 heads out of the 5. If you get 4 heads out of the 5, something good might happen. If you get 2, something bad. So it's something like that, right? But you're flipping a coin, and I just found that just almost as interesting and almost as fulfilling as rolling a D6. I just did. I think it's a fun thing to do, and it's a different thing to do. And you're going to keep track of your equipment, which is your what you find along the way. You're actually parachuting from a bomber a British bomber into the German countryside without anything, and so you're going to have to pick up things along the way, without much, I should say. You have to pick up some stuff along the way, and you can only carry 5 things. So you got to make some of those decisions. What do you take? What do you keep? Do you keep your pistol, or do you keep a ID? An ID can get you in somewhere. A pistol. Do you keep a knife, which may give you a one-head advantage, a one-flip advantage, or do you get a lockpick set, which you may need? And all those items you're going to need on certain tracks, on certain playthroughs of the book. So yeah. And that's what you're doing. And other than that, you're just following and you're reading along. And they are multiple decisions a lot of times. Sometimes it's turn to 4 different decisions there. Sometimes it's 2. Sometimes it's just 1. But other than that, you're playing it like a fighting fantasy book. And like I said, you may run into, on your playthroughs, you may run into some historical figures, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that's it. And the things that I liked about the book was the history. I liked the history in the book. I liked the theme of the book. I liked the way you go through the book. I'll give you an example. The Sniper game books, which had a character sheet, and they were from TSR, and they were okay. You're usually, but you can get through that by like hiding through it. You can get through the book, but nothing exciting happens. It's really meant to Rambo your way through this. This is something where you're going to want to avoid fighting at all costs. At most costs, you're going to have to, if you go into fights, it's going to be over pretty quick. So you're trying to avoid fighting. You're trying to avoid police. You're trying to do what, a supposed MI6 operator, I don't even know if they call them operators in Britain, but an operator would be doing, right? Gathering intelligence and trying to take out the target, which is Adolf Hitler, which I think all of us can agree, if he would have been taken out in 1939 or the Nazi regime would have been taken out in 1939, it would have saved a lot of problems later down the line, which again, hindsight's 2020, but people knew this because there was assassinations attempts way before 39. But yeah, I did like the book, and I do recommend the book. The things I don't know if I'll say dislike about it. I didn't dislike anything. One thing about it that I think is sort of odd is you're dealing with some dark themes. You're dealing with cold-blooded assassinations, right? That's never, no matter who it is, that's never an easy thing to do as a human being, trained or not. Just a cold-blooded assassination, no matter what, and taking a life in that way, excuse me, can be difficult, right? And most of the plotters who ever tried to kill Hitler and those who tried to assassinate him, it didn't end well for them. And you may assassinate the Fuhrer and it don't end well for you or for anyone else, quite frankly. So those are the things that I think that make me feel a certain type of a way. Not that I think it was bad. I just think they make you deal with some, for me, some internal trauma dealing with life and death, and when it's okay to kill and when it's not, right? Those things are always crop up in my mind, and I always have to deal with those. What's the line, right? Is the line Hitler? Is that the only person that would be okay to assassinate? Or where's the line there? And, morally, is it okay to assassinate ever? So there are things I have to deal with internally, but it makes you think. The only thing I didn't like about the book, I would have liked to have a character sheet. I'd like to have a character sheet and name my own self. That's the one thing I would have added to the book. But other than that, it's almost too short. I almost want more. I want instead of the traditional 400 sections, I want like 800. I want 1,200. I want 1,200 sections. I thought this was interesting, and I do think there were parts which they're trying to veer toward historical accuracy here, but I do think there's parts that could have been more fun, right? You could have made it, I don't know, you may have made the combat, you made yourself a little bit more of a Rambo, right? Instead of trying to hide. Or, of course, that would take away from history, but that's really my only, I don't really have any gripes about it other than it's too short, and I'd like to have a character sheet, but other than that, I like to name myself, like name my MI6 agent, right? Other than that, it was a good book, and it's fun, and I recommend it, and I'm probably going to look at some more. There are a couple of other ones from Tom Quest books. There's one where you're one of the plotters of the remember the 5th of November. Guy Fawkes, the Guy Fawkes plot, right? So there's another one I think that deals with, I don't remember that one, but it deals with Napoleonics, right, in some way, shape, or form. But so yeah, it's a good book, interesting book, a fun game, kind of a little elegant system. I like that coin flip, and I like something interesting to look at. So there it is. That's it. That's my take on it. Take it as you will. But yeah, if you don't mind dealing with some darker side of war, I highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. Good book. And it makes you think, you know, could the course of history actually been changed if the Nazi high command would have been taken out in 39? Could they have been taken out in 39? Was it a possibility even? Interesting way to look at it. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Y'all have a great day. Hope you have some fun. And anytime you want, go and try to assassinate Hitler. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.